Hey, what's going on? My name is Hunter, and in this video, we're going to go over how the online fitness landscape has changed from a marketing aspect and even a sales aspect in the last, I would say, 24 months to 18 months. And if you don't know me, I own a brick and mortar gym, as well as operate a few online fitness coaching companies as well. Have done over 7 million in top line in the last 5 years. And today I just want to share with you some findings that I'm discovering, kind of take you along with what we're doing currently, not saying it works, but what we're testing, so that maybe you can see, hey, is what I'm seeing, in the fitness space also what other people are saying? Is this something that's a pattern across the industry, or is this something that's just true to me? Hopefully you get some insights from that. And then again, maybe some ideas on what you can do moving forward to help make progress. Again, I'm not saying I'm right in a lot of these things. These are observations and our hypotheses on how we want to move forward and see some better results. So I would say, about like January of last year, so January of 2025, we on our online brand started promoting Facebook and Meta ads. And previously up to that, it had been purely through our organic following. And we have a pretty big organic following, so that was great to sustain us past a certain amount. But once we added our sales team, we were quickly able to keep up with all of our lead flow just from the organic end. So we wanted to add Meta ads in as well. And what we found with the Meta ads starting in January, we opened up with a VSL funnel, video sales letter, and it went really well. Everybody who we were talking to would have some sort of interest, some trust in us. We had a higher show rate, so our show rates were far and above beyond 40%. And just as time goes on, I would say like into the fall of last year, the fall of 25, show rates really started to plummet. And there's of course a lot of reasons for this, but being a part of a few masterminds, it doesn't seem like that's just a coincidence and something we were just experiencing. That was across the board. So show rates started to plummet. People did hop on the call, maybe weren't as interested. And so what we kind of figure out, and the hypothesis is, yes, there were some tweaks in the Facebook algorithm that may have affected it, but also we had been targeting our warm audience, meaning people who had watched our videos, people who followed us already, maybe people who are in our CRM or our email list. We were targeting them on Facebook ads, and it had got to the point where they were just getting used to the offer we were putting out there. I mean, we're now starting to reach people who weren't as warm, who were colder. And I think also the meta changed in the online space where people just didn't want to watch a video. They wanted to maybe have more of a live experience in order to build trust with you as a brand, as a business, before they wanted to buy with you. So what I've got here is a little bit of what I'm talking about. So you can see here on the screen, we've got our different audiences, and we've got kind of a funnel. And the goal of a lot of our business is, and ours included, we sell a high ticket coaching offer, typically around 45 to 4,900 for 6 months. And that is our one-on-one coaching offer. And so previously we were able to take somebody from a lead magnet, i.e. our VSL, and basically book a call and move them directly into one-on-one. So we were able to move them from cold to, from up here all the way down into basically getting married. And so what we're seeing now is in our funnel, we're not moving people from the top to the bottom as often. And so these are the middle steps that we've been working on in order to nurture these people, to build a relationship better so that we can get them into one-on-one coaching. But we understand we got to go on a few dates before we get married, right? So at the top here, we've got our VSL. We did an analysis in our CRM over here. And what I found was that 54,600 people were here who took the lead magnet, who had not signed up for a one-on-one. And I guess previous to, me drawing this out, all we had was a challenge that we ran one quarter. And so out of those 54,000 people, 1,000 people had took that challenge who also hadn't signed up. So you can imagine we've got this huge gap essentially from people who did a lead magnet and then weren't in one-on-one, but also a big gap between lead magnet and people who didn't join our challenge. Now, to give you context on our challenge, that's an offer that's about $149 for 28 days. You get fitness, nutrition, accountability, just in a group setting with some Zoom calls each week, some mini challenges, but so on and so forth. So there was a huge gap between the challenge and also the challenge to the one-on-one. So we wanted to fill that gap. And what we're testing right now is a webinar. So giving them basically a live experience, maybe something similar to the VSL we did before, but instead you're showing up for a live presentation. You're going to have the opportunity to interact, do Q&As with the coach that's presenting that. And we have, by talking to other business owners who are in the online space who do high ticket, it does seem like webinars are performing highly for many people. In fact, the mastermind we're a part of, it rewards people who get to $1 million a month in revenue. And when you get to $1 million a month in revenue, they actually get to speak in front of the crew at that quarterly mastermind. And 7 out of the 9 people who spoke attributed it to we're doing webinars. So kind of jumping on the bandwagon here, we are testing our first workshop tomorrow. Slash webinar tomorrow, and we've got a good amount of signups. We market it just to our warm traffic, and we will test after to cold traffic, through paid ads, and see how it functions. But I guess the idea is, if you are in a position where you are maybe having a lot of people at the top end of your funnel and then not moving as many down to the bottom like you may have in the past, then you got to fill that gap with some sort of trust building, some sort of consumption of content, get in front of people in a way. And it seems like people are preferring a live experience like a challenge or a workshop that'll actually move them from the top into the bottom. Now, I know this takes work. I know it's not the easiest of things to do. We would love to just, talk to them in our DMs or, text them after they fill in an opt-in and then book the call, but it's just not working like it once did. It certainly does still work. It just, you got to mine a little bit longer. You got to grind it out a bit more. And if you're limited time, if you don't have a huge sales team, if you're already feeling like you're just doing everything you need to on the organic, the content creation end, like that's a full-time job in itself. So, this may be a better vehicle for you to at least test out. So I would say test out a challenge, test out a workshop, to fill that gap between getting people from a lead magnet to a one-on-one. Anyways, that's it for this video. Again, this is the first sort of documentation video. I may edit it, change it up. So I do appreciate you watching. I hope something of this was helpful. A lot of this is, yes, to help you, also to help me document where we're at. And it's always cool to look back and see, what were we dealing with at that point and how do we overcome it? Because, if we do run into things in the future, we have it documented. We can always learn from it. So anyways, we can all benefit from this. Thank you for watching. Talk to you next time.